Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, where we mix business, law of attraction, spirituality, and well-being with great guests and phenomenal stories. You'll hear hints, tips, and up-to-the-minute information on digital communication from an expert in her field. Pearl has some wonderful individuals in her networks, and she will be interviewing them all at some point in the future. Enjoy your listening.
Hello and welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom show. My name's Pearl Cox and this is the second show in the series. If you remember on show 1, we spoke about personal auditing and doing journaling and introducing that into your habits and patterns. Today we're going to speak about turning the negative into a positive and also cover affirmations. Now with this, there's quite a lot. What I'm going to share with you is quite a big thing, but I don't want you to sort of get caught up on what I'm sharing. I'm doing this because I want to show you that any negative you can turn around and make it into a positive. You do not need to dwell on the negatives, because dwelling on the negatives will not help you when you look at law of attraction. It will not help you manifest. It will not help you get to your goals and reach those. So you need to stay on a high vibration and as positive as possible. As we said before, like attracts like. So if you're in a positive frame of mind and you're giving out positive vibrations, that is what you are mirroring to the universe, and that's what comes back to you. Now, previously, we're looking quite a long time. This is showing my age now, but probably about 20 years ago when I was going through quite a bad divorce. It got very nasty and there's lots of horrid things involved in it. But it got to the stage, things that were involved, we were put on rapid response from the police. Myself and my children's lives were all threatened. People had put fake social media accounts out and had attributed it to our family. Now, there wasn't very much we could do at the time. The police put us in a safe house. We had to be put somewhere because they really, for them to actually get rapid response down to less than 2 minutes if we had anyone turn up at our house, I'd say that is quite a negative. But because of what was done, the perpetrators pulled together a YouTube video where they threatened our family, threatened to kill our family. They had friends of the family handcuffed and put them in the boot of a car and filmed it all and said that they were going to kill our family. And I say this not as something for people to feel sorry for me, because we're through it, we got through it, and you don't realise how strong you are. But from that, I learned everything there was to do and use about social media and using it properly and using it safely. I was very lucky to be working for one of the large corporates, and I worked very closely with an IT director, and they helped me. We looked into IP addresses to prove that it wasn't anything to do with our family. We turned it round. I had to show the police how to download YouTube videos so that you had it as evidence. And I literally went in, I turned that negative into a positive. If you listen to my first show, I talk about how I'm a digital communications consultant, and I've been called many things when it comes to social media. All of them good, I must add. I've been a Jedi, I've been a guru, consultant. I think out of all of them, I probably preferred the word Jedi because that just sounded, it had a really good ring to it. But this is where I'm saying you have a negative happen and I turned that into a positive. So I turned that into a positive to actually make my life and make a very good living from it. I've been at one stage, I had the 25th ranked Twitter account in the whole of the UK, simply because I got into Twitter quite early. learned how to use it, and I turned that into a positive, and I've turned it into a very lucrative business. Now, this is where I'm saying to you, if you remember where we looked at the first show, where we had to do the personal audit and to see where you were and to stay with the positive, what you liked about yourself, what you loved about yourself, and what you wanted to change. Now, I grew simply by turning that negative into a positive. I'm not asking anyone to go through what we did. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. But you don't realise how strong you are until you've got your back against the wall, and then you pull out all the stops and you make it a positive. So if you're looking at it from a corporate point of view, and you want to move away from corporate and you want to go and start working for yourself, this is where you need to start looking at your transferable skills. What have you got that you've practiced, that you've all the way through your corporate career? When you've had your personal development discussions, where do you shine? Where are the things that you're really good at? Are you good at speaking in front of people? Take that. If that's something that's one of your positives, run with it. Because if you're going to be promoting your own company or an idea, or you want to move on in corporate but go up to the next level, use those speaking examples and that experience. You could do Facebook Lives, not only for yourself, but if you were in corporate and you wanted to stay there, explain that, yes, you'd be quite happy to be recorded on video, added to the company YouTube channel, something like that. If this is the way you engage best with your audience, make the most out of that. If you're better on audio, where you sit and you talk and you like to listen to people, maybe look at a podcast. Suggest that, both internally in the company or something you want to build and grow externally. It's something you're using where people start to learn about your knowledge, your natural gift to discussion and to interviewing people, something like that. You could use for a podcast. With all of these things, when you're looking at transferable skills as well, look and see how you best communicate, what your learning styles are, and look to see how you best engage with other people. Because people learn in different ways, and this is where you can make them all a positive. Some people like to learn by watching someone else and copying, which is where you can use the likes of video. So you could look at live or YouTube, like we've discussed. Some people like to read hard copy. They like to read text and actually consume that, understand it, then use it that way. That's where you could look and actually see, maybe pull together a PDF or an ebook or something like that. Again, if you've got that experience, pull your experience into an ebook, and that gives you something to share, to actually put out for potential customers that you could look at before, as that stopgap before leaving corporate and to move to working to yourself. There are lots of different ways. And as you see with Instagram and things like this that are coming out and are far more popular, if you work better with an image, use that. Maybe look at producing an infographic or a PowerPoint presentation where you can actually work with images, with words, and see how you use that, and then maybe add it to SlideShare and share it through your LinkedIn profile. Now, these are all ways that are using your corporate skills, which will then be able to push your potential idea, your new business, and push you forward. So you're turning that negative of where you are into a positive, and you've got no end of areas that you could look at then. And that's seeing all those positives that you can actually build on. So when you look at that and you're thinking, how do I turn a negative to a positive? First of all, you're looking how. Like, how do you engage best with an audience? And then you can record that and see which way you could use it. And when? When have you had those wins at work throughout your career? Where are the wins that really stand out? And see that, and see what skill you use there, and see where you could use it. And then the why. What was your driver at the time to actually make you move forward and share whatever you did that really worked well for you, and you found that your internal work audience that could become your external self-employed engaged audience. They could ultimately become their customers. This is where you turn that negative to a positive. And then if we're looking at the law of attraction side, once you've been doing the work on yourself and how you want to move forward and look at how you want to move in business, for law of attraction, I'd like you to start to consider affirmations. These are positive sentences that you say to yourself out loud or quietly within your head when you're thinking of things. These help to keep your vibrations high, so that you know that if you're feeling you have a little wobble and you're not sure, you're saying these. It's like a mantra that you say to yourself over and over again. And that raises your vibrations. And once again, I say to you, if you want to manifest something, like attracts like. So when you've got those positive affirmations that you're saying and you're putting out to the universe and lifting your vibration, that is what you have coming back. I have quite a few affirmations that I use, and I'm not necessarily going to share them now because they're something that are pertinent to what I want to do. So I'd say, yes, definitely find your own that you find really resonates with you. But this is when I go back to my tech digital side. I schedule my affirmations in my reminders, or I put them into my calendars so that they pop up on the hour and on the half hour. So I can actually see that as I'm working, it will come up as a reminder and I can read it. And so you're reading, it might be out loud, like I said, or it might be in your head, but it's reaffirming that positiveness and keeps that positivity and your vibrations high from doing that. And again, from the tech side, there are quite a few apps that you can use. Again, they're available, be it on Apple or Android, that you can look at to use. I use an I Am app, and that's all about affirmations. You can choose the background that you want. You can add your own favourite affirmations to it. They have lots of different subjects, so it will go from health and well-being, spiritual, career, gratitude, lots of different things. There's one specifically for you to use at night time, so you start to really wind down, and positive affirmations before you go to sleep. There's lots and lots of different ones. And also, anyone that gets into the law of attraction, something that is really good to consider is Gabby Bernstein. Full name Gabrielle Bernstein, but most people know her as Gabby. She has the Spirit Junkie app, and that links to the Spirit Junkie book that she wrote. Now, the app gives you a new affirmation every day. And again, it's something you can pop up. You can copy this. You can save it to your photos. So it's something you can use again and again. You can star your favourites. So if you're feeling lower, you can actually look at that and start to build that positive vibration up again. And if you remember from the first show, when we were talking about the Freedom Mastery Planner, I mentioned the emotional scale. Now, if you do that, there's a high and a low frequency. And if you're feeling that you're on that lower frequency, from the planner, it shows you things to say and ways to think in a more positive way so that you actually use and resonate with the feelings on the higher emotional scale. So ultimately, you're looking at abundance, joy, love. If you can get that, you feel at that vibration, you can say, I am grateful for the abundance in my life. I am happy and grateful that there is so much joy and love within my surroundings. You can then feel the positivity as you're saying it. If you read that regularly, that again, from that emotional scale, it brings you from a lower point right up to a higher point. It can be slower, and like I say, I'm not going into too much detail with this, but if you want to learn more, read up on the emotional scale and actually see that wave and how from the peaks and troughs, if you're in a lower negative position, start to think by your affirmations, what you say to yourself, write them down or speak them out loud, where you can actually raise your vibration by thinking in a far more positive way. So this is something that is really going to help you moving forward. Now, again, if there's other things that you'd like to look at, there's something that I'd like to share with you. Now, it's something that I use, like I said, from the very beginning in week 1. I'm going to show you the practices that I follow, what I've done to get me to where I am, into my bouncing state where I get all the synchronicities that you hear my passion come through. So everything is really good. And I feel at the peak of flow at the minute. I feel positive. I mean, not all the time, not every minute of the day, but most of the time I am feeling positive and good things. I'm attracting goodness and great abundance and everything into my life simply by the vibration that I'm working with, that I'm living with, and the work I'm doing. And one of the practices that I follow is I listen to Lenka Lutonska's affirmations, and it's all aimed towards business women. So it's a positive affirmations around how you can attract your perfect client. And it's something I listen to every day without fail. It's part of my nighttime routine. The first thing I do, I have other affirmations and meditations that I listen to throughout the evening and throughout the night, but that's something I will touch on a future show. But here for affirmations, it's the work that Lenka Lutonska does, and this is available through a free download once you purchase her book. So it's her book on energetic selling and marketing. It's a book, and from that it will actually say, and you get the chance to actually quite, if you can prove the voucher that you've paid with, and a lot of this you can get from Amazon. All you need to do is copy and paste the Amazon ID that you've used or whatever from that, and you're automatically sent directly to the download. So from that, I'm going to speak just for a short time today, because the affirmations is the thing that I want to gift to you so that you can listen to that and see. But it's also worth noting, you will be hearing affirmations that the Serenity Radio team have, and even between shows and when you're listening different things, there are quite a lot of affirmation tracks that are already there and available, and just plug into those, listen and see when they come on, really attune to what's being said, so you have that real positive vibration within your daily life. And like we say, like attracts like. So all the time you keep your vibration high, you're going to bring the high vibrations to you, and that's what's going to help you manifest all the things that you want. And you'd be surprised just how quickly, by changing your vibration, you can see a difference in your work-life balance. And it's pulling those two together. So just to reiterate, we've covered turning that negative to a positive. So start to work on that. Work from the personal audit that we did on week 1. Build on it from this. You've got journaling that you're using from week 1. Week 2, we're covering the affirmations, and the affirmations that ring true to you start to add to your journaling. I am grateful for, I am grateful this, I am grateful that. I am thankful and grateful for things, and then you add what it is that actually resonates with you. It's been great speaking to you. Really enjoy building this relationship. Once again, you've been listening to Pearl Cox with Pearls of Wisdom, and next you'll be able to hear the meditation and affirmations that I listen to of an evening through Lenka Lutonska. Thank you. Look forward to connecting on the next show.
Thank you for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the content shared. Please share with others who would like to enjoy these interviews and discussions. If you would like to support the podcast, please follow the link in the episode description. If you want to be a guest on the show, reach out and let's discuss next steps. Until the next time, enjoy your listening.